It's time to be a princess at any age. Go right now to hsn.com to get yours.
Being our #1 brand, but if you are looking for our #1 longest running fitness item of all time here at HSN, he has hang-ups and we made it. How are you, Roger Teeter?
I am great, Shannon. I love hanging out here, you know, and it's such fun when we have new products to bring along too, and a new package.
A new package. In fact, we're going to show you that if purchased separately, but here's the big thing. Took a while for the FDA to come to the party, but when we talk about back pain and sciatica.
Class 1 medical device. A year ago, 36 years late to the party, but so welcome. What does Class 1 mean? That means that according to FDA, Teeter is indicated for back pain, sciatica, that's pinched nerves, spinal degenerative joint disease, that's the same as osteoarthritis, spinal curvature due to tight muscles, muscle tension, and there's more, there's another 5. Herniated disc, that's a huge deal, degenerative disc disease, spinal stenosis, Facet syndrome, you know, and those 10 things, you know, they're caused by misalignments and bulge things and pinched nerves and what have you, but they have one thing in common. It's your body weight on those misalignments, pinched nerves, or bulged discs, or ruptured discs that's actually causing the problem. It's the weight that drives the pain. Take the weight off.
Exactly.
And the pain goes away.
And the pain goes away. You know what, guys, do we have one of the comfort cushions I could actually hold up separately? Because if you're looking at this, this is Roger's top of the line. So if you, oh, perfect. You know what? It's a live show. I'm gonna do it. For the first time in history, this is a $50 value, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And normally we'd give you an item number for it, right? And we'd say, okay, you can go ahead, get your comfort cushion. Right. You can go ahead if you buy this on infomercial and not get any of the upgrades that you're doing here, not any of the freebies. You only do how many flex pays?
3, and we charge you $5 for each one.
And the table alone
it's not this table.
It's not this table.
This is the entry one. That's the market.
This is your top of the line.
This is the top of the line. This is a $150 high grade. It's the table for chiropractors and medical use.
It's the same one that's used in medical practices, basically.
So it's the top of the line. The infomercial is the market entry.
We're doing all of the upgrades. I think, Roger, we've got a lot of support. Do you want to take everybody on a tour of the table, or should we talk about what it does? Oh, actually, you know what? Late breaking. All right, this is basically what we're talking about. Life on this planet really compresses this, and we'll talk about all the details, but this is what I was alluding to. Everywhere else in America, if you buy the medical grade, the medical device, the medical table, it is $450.
That's right, EP 970, in case you wanted the EP 970 designation.
Absolutely, and then we are not giving you a separate item number on the comfort cushion because that is included basically for free with your purchase. And you're also getting the free shipping. And for $58 on your credit card, I will say this, please call us. Your calls are the most important part of this show.
That's my pay, by the way.
Yes, it is.
At 80 years old, I don't need to do this except for you.
Exactly, and getting better and better and better. All right, well, let's get into some of the details, because when we say it's a medical grade device, and yes, whether it's back pain or sciatica or Facet syndrome, all the things that causes pain, this kind of reverses gravity in a way.
Right, and actually, well, number one, it takes the pressure off. Less pressure is less pain, but it also relieves back pain 3 additional ways, 4 in all. One is that once you decompress it, take the pressure off the pinched nerve, the misalignment, it's encouraged to realign itself. So decompression, taking the pain off, realignment, helping the disc to rehydrate. You can also have tense muscles that pull the spine into curvature. So it's stretching and relaxing the paraspinal muscles. Relief 4 different ways. You know, Shannon, that's just the beginning. Because then there's relief of stress, improving circulation, flexibility, correcting posture, stretching and relaxing, and helping you keep your original body shape. You know what gravity's doing to you. Fight back.
I know, we have, and it's so funny because we take countless testimonials, whether it helps with the pain immediately. And you know, it's so interesting because when we think about, this goes to the source. And the thing is, yes, it's a class, it's a medical device. FDA came to the party a little bit later, but when you think about taking a pain reliever per se, that's not going to the source of the issue. No. This is going, and those are temporary too, by the way, but this is going to the source of the issue, basically.
Right, absolutely. In fact, just think about when you do have back pain, what are your options? What are your options?
What are your options? options.
And virtually all of them do not deal with the problem. They deal with the
Symptoms.
Covering up the symptom. Your back's still screaming. You just can't hear it.
Good point.
What good is that?
Good point.
Take the pressure off. Teeter actually deals with the problem naturally at the source in virtually any clothes, and it does it in 2 to 3 minutes. You're not even waiting the 45 minutes for a pain thing
exactly.
to kick in.
And by the way, you do not have to invert the full way.
No, absolutely not.
So you know what, Roger? I'd love it if you do a little tour, because we are including almost $200 worth of upgrades, and that's before we factor in the cost of the comfort cushion. So this is the $970. So if you're doing an internet search, that's what you have to look at. Right,
$970. And I want to say a couple things about the comfort mat, because, you know, a lot of you have asked for a little more comfort. But, you know, we've been very cautious and required a lot of engineering to come up with this. And you may think, why not just put a pillow on it? How about some memory foam? No, that actually would work against the main purpose of inversion, which is decompression. Remember, your ankles are clamped and your body must slide. You're going to elongate 1 to 2 inches. So your body has to be able to slide. And that's why we don't have super soft cushions. Memory foam would just be working opposite. You'd sink into it and you wouldn't slide. This is a very smooth, very close-knit nylon.
It is.
It's, you know, you've got the comfort, but the main thing is that you've got the surface condition that's not going to interfere with your decompression, which is why, of course, you're inverting.
Absolutely. And notice that it's custom molded, too, to accommodate for the upgraded lumbar bridge.
Yes, we have the lumbar bridge. This controls the curvature in your spine in partial inversion. Also squares the hips, a huge plus. You know, if a lot of people have one hip a little higher than the other, one leg a little shorter. Actually, this squares it. It kind of grabs your butt.
Which, by the way, now your table is the only one that does that, right?
Yeah, so that's a patented item.
So that's a patented, so that's my case. My right hip is a little bit higher, and actually—
I've got a shorter leg on one side. It's the same sort of thing, so the hip's higher.
So it helps accommodate for that, which is something that they used to try to accommodate for when I would go to my chiropractor's office.
Right. Yeah. And then the acupressure nodes. There's actually 8 acupressure nodes, 2 of each size. Now, the mat, it's got twist locks.
Okay.
This little twist locks, it locks in place. But if you've got a knot in your back and you really need an acupressure node up in here to get under the shoulder blade, you just flip this. You can flip this off in an instant. But at the same time, twist locks, they stay with you.
Perfect.
The big deal on this table of $970 is this handle. It is a $100 upgrade. It's actually something we developed over a decade ago. For doctors' offices. We're just offering it now to you. Right. You know, and of course it's a much more expensive item. This by itself is a $100 upgrade. Okay. Traction handles, my favorite upgrade. These are a plus. First of all, the 3 things you want to do before you invert, okay? Set your height. It's adjustable 4'8" to 6'6", 300-pound capacity. Put the tether strap adjusting. This allows you to preset maximum angle. That's a little much for first time, but I wanted to show you, you can actually adjust this very easily. It's color-coded so that, that's about right.
Nice.
But the color codes, the green stops at 25 degrees, but you can go in between.
Okay.
All right, so you set that. So what do the traction handles do? If this is the maximum angle you're comfortable with, at least initially, but the more decompression you get, the more the results, the more the stretch. But stop it at this angle, and then you put your hands on these traction handles. Remember, they rotate with you. Yeah. And then you use some arm power to further decompress your body as though you were in full inversion. You know, but fact is, you'll probably end up in full inversion.
You will. You'll surprise yourself.
As you listen to your body, you become so comfortable, you'll be as comfortable as sitting at your desk. I'm going to take that off for a demonstration. Perfect. But very quickly, it folds up for storage. I know that some people are concerned about space. There behind a couch in a closet, springs into action, literally 2 seconds.
Beautiful.
Adjustable from 4'8" to 6'6", 300-pound capacity. It's got your height in inches and centimeters.
So it's got the oversized handles. It's got,
this is a $70 upgrade over our infomercial. That's another $70 upgrade.
So $100 upgrade on the medical handle or foot bar that you created. $70 upgrade.
Over the infomercial.
Over the infomercial. The lumbar
bridge is $20. The acupressure nodes are, I mean, you've got the traction handles, another $27.
Oh, yeah, and then, by the way, $50 mat.
So, and Look,
what am I missing?
You know what gravity's doing to you.
Yeah.
You've got to be curious what Inversion could do for you. Teeter's the only brand that meets all the safety standards.
Does.
In the United States, Canada, Japan, all of Europe, medical grade equipment in Europe, medical grade home use medical, and the stickers to prove it right here. And Teeter is the only brand that meets those standards.
The only
one.
There's
a very good reason, you know, because you get on the internet with, we got 3 million people using our equipment, you're gonna see lots of lookalikes, and they look alike.
You're right. But
they don't use the right steel.
It's true.
You know, my background is aircraft. The big deal with aircraft is fatigue resistance, because cycling metal back and forth, whether you're flying up and landing or you're inverting on inversion, rocking back and forth, you're cycling metal back and forth.
Yeah.
And that is what causes a fatigue failure. Teeter's the only brand that has the fatigue engineered out by using high carbon, heat treated steel, special components. And Teeter's the only brand that meets those standards and has those stickers on it.
The only one in the world, the
That's
only one that has that patented design. If you've got one leg longer than the other or one hip higher than the other, like I do, I want you to see that if purchased separately, and then the FDA still, and then we're going to hear from Dr. Steedman. But we also want to hear from you. So if you're a huge fan like I am, please call us. Remember, everywhere else in the world, including HSN, by the way, I mean, this is the medical grade table. So if you're doing a search the 970.
970.
The 970. Everywhere else in the world, it's basically $100 more.
Well, actually, it's
or
well,
more.
it's 100. Yeah, it's $449.
It's $449.
$449.
But that's without the inclusion,
right? Which is another.
Another $50.
Right.
And by the way, remember, if you've seen Roger's infomercial, that's the introductory model, and you can't even compare it to this, because this is the medical grade device. And speaking of medical, it took a while for the FDA to come to the party,
but
right?
so welcome.
So welcome. So do you have back pain? Do you have sciatica? Do you have spinal degenerative joint disease? Spinal overuse or due to tight muscles, muscle tension? We're talking about arthritis here. I mean, herniated disc. I mean, you know, it's so funny, Roger, we read the list of degenerative disc disease. My mom has that, spinal stenosis, she also has that, Facet syndrome, muscle spasm. Even reading those, I think pain. You know, it even looks painful to read those. Right.
I mean, that's debilitating pain, and they're all driven, all those misalignments and pinched nerves and everything, the real pain is driven by your body weight. Take the weight off. Gives the joints a break. You will lengthen 1 to 2 inches. That's a real number. Decompressing all those joints, encouraging realignment, rehydration of the disc, stretching and relaxing paraspinal muscles. 4 different ways of relieving back pain in 3 to 5 minutes in virtually any clothes.
Yeah.
And I do mean 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes.
I know you're used to hearing that. Oh, it's just do 5.
Right.
No, 3 to 5 minutes.
In
the morning, 1 minute. And the reason I say 1 minute is because, first of all, I sleep kind of curled up a bit.
I do too.
And I have to, straightening up, get on the table. Man, I'm standing tall, and I'm 2 cups of coffee without the caffeine, that extra oxygen to the brain. I'm out of there.
You're ready to go. All right, well, we've got so much support from so many doctors, and of course from you. Remember, the most important part of this show.
Please call.
Because Roger
you are my pay.
You
really
are the pay. But in the meantime, here's Dr. Steedman.
I have bouts of lower back pain in the decade or so since I've started using the Teeter on a daily basis. It's been very helpful. And I'm just grateful for the amount of time involved and for the cost of the device. It's a no-brainer. It's priceless. I'm an orthopedic surgeon specializing in the treatment of bone and joint disorders. The shock-absorbing function of the discs is important in the overall function of the spine. The spine is a very complex structure. I would recommend the Teeter to a broad spectrum of people. Regular use of the Teeter inversion table takes temporary stress off of the intervertebral discs by creating traction and negative pressure, and gives them the opportunity to rehydrate. Teeter can also be used to strengthen one's core with inverted crunches. Using the Teeter a few to several minutes every day or every other day can help temporary relief of lower back pain.
All right, we've got so much support. Of course, you are our biggest support, but when we talk, there's a Nackhamson study that was done, and I think a lot of people, Roger, think, oh, well, I sit for my job, I'm fine, right? Yeah, right?
Wow, that's a recipe for back pain. It's too much sitting, weak muscles, and stress. But I want you to see it proved by a medical study done at Gothenburg University in Sweden a number of years ago. A number of volunteers, you're going to see a bright light. Maybe I already missed it.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, that's the location of a surgically implanted pressure sensor. Pressure reading in the right-hand corner doubled. When it was standing up, it was 100. Bent over, it goes to 200. There, good posture. 50% higher load. You took a weight off and dumped it on your back.
Whoa!
You know, there, 2.5 times the loads. You know, seriously, you've taken the load off your muscles that you feel, but your lower back, 2.5 times the loads. I mean, that's the way we end up in front of a computer, most of us. That last 25% goes to bed with you because it's not caused by gravity, it's caused by the construction of the spine. You have hundreds and hundreds of ligaments and 140 muscles. They stabilize the spine.
Yeah.
That's so important, but they also hold it in background compression like a lot of rubber bands. That's why you can't get into bed, you still pressurize the joints. So the only way to overcome those rubber bands, which are very strong, is decompression, actually using your own body weight. Look at that spine elongating. That can be a cause of the pain. Yeah. That elongation, decompressing the joint. You know, so it's, you know, it is so straightforward. And you know, this is the oldest and most proven fitness activity, health and fitness, invented by Hippocrates in 400 BC because of exactly what I told you for the recipe of back pain. The Greeks, too much sitting, weak muscles and stress, and every successful society has a lot of sitting and a lot of stress. Sure. And that's your formula for back pain.
Absolutely. There's a reason that you are the longest running fitness item here at HSN. How many sold worldwide? I mean,
2.1 million.
2.1 million.
Yeah, over 3 million users.
Over
we have
3 million
people.
users. And here's the thing, it works, period. If you use this, it works. There's no roundabout way of saying that. And when you see that FDA still, and not to belabor the point, but I think it is important. If you have back pain, if you have a herniated disc, if you have sciatica like I do, pinched nerve, if you've got muscle tension, you know, we think of all the things, I think of my mom, I think of the pain that I'm in, you know, with my back, and I want to be as active as I can into my later years. This is, to me, the fountain of youth, because
it's the missing link.
It's the missing link, really. Because you know very well, whether it's you, whether you're suffering from back pain right now, or whether it's somebody that you love and care about, you know very well you would do absolutely anything to try to alleviate that for them. And I remind you again, take this pain reliever or that pain reliever. This is a medical grade device cleared by the FDA. It's the same one used, the same table used in doctors' offices. And you know what? A pain reliever is temporary, but it's not going to the source of the issue. And Roger, I think it's important that we show how easy this is to use.
All right, again, there's 3 things that you do. First of all, you set your height.
Right.
It's adjustable 4'8" to 6'6". I'm going to put it on, on my height.
Which, as an aside, Roger has done virtually all of the assembly for you. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show.
Right. I'll actually take it apart, just the way it comes out of the box, and put it back together, and I'll do it in less than a minute.
Get there.
How's that?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So you put this strap on that presets a maximum angle that you're comfortable with. Now, that'd be a good starting angle. You know, that's enough to give your stress relief, some circulation improvement, posture correction, and some decompression. I'm going to leave that off at this point. Okay. So set the height. We've set the angle strap. Right. And then you step in, and you lock your hands. And this is that $100 upgrade. These are precision clicks. I mean, these are little fine adjustments to get exactly the fit that you're looking for. Beautiful. Now, the idea is that to adjust it height-wise, so this pivot point's right at your center of mass. Yeah. And then you and the table become a teeter-totter. You do. You know, this table is moving solely on one arm. This actually lights down, favorite music on, rocking back and forth. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do. Yeah. You know, and it just feels so good. Now, there are great benefits, as I said earlier, even at this shallow angle. Use the preset angle strap to stop you at an angle you're comfortable with. Do not go beyond any angle that you are not totally comfortable with. But by doing it in small increments, you'll be easily, I think virtually anybody can work up to this angle. Yeah. And this is the magic one where your own body weight is enough to elongate your body that 1 to 2 inches and really deal with those back issues that the FDA says Teeter's cleared for. You're gonna know you're there because of this grip. And I can pull and push and wiggle my body back into alignment, or maybe move it back and forth on nodes, you know, if I've got a tight spot. Full inversion, you don't need to go here. Beautiful. But believe it or not, 50% of regular invertees do because of the extra freedom that you have. to do stretches. You know, you can do crunches, you can do inverted squats. You know, with your elongated body, you'll have the flexibility to be able to work on your flexibility. So important for golf, and in fact, for about anything you want to do when you're 80. I mean, I'm 80 this year. I can't believe that.
I can't either. I have to say, because I see Roger at the gym occasionally, and this guy moves like decades younger. Seriously,
yes,
but that's the key, right?
Yeah. Well, look, aerobic exercise, anaerobic. Yoga, virtually anything you do is great to have all kinds of benefits, but inversion is the only thing that actually decompresses the joint. All those other activities add compression one way or another. You're either upside down, adding compression, or you're running, jumping, weights. And so when I say it's a missing link, it's the one that decompresses the joint. Yeah. Look, best way to say it, Teeter complements everything you're doing.
It does.
And replaces nothing.
It's true.
It's an add-on.
It's true.
It is the missing link.
It is. There's nothing else like it. And by the way, I have to remind you again, there is no other inversion table like this in the world. There's just not. So beware of those copycats. I'm just going to tell you, you don't want to be hanging upside down from something that does not have the quality of steel. And quite frankly, even though the costs have increased, Roger and his family, at least thus far, have absorbed those costs, because this table, the 970, sells for $100 more without the flex pay and the free shipping and the cushion.
We started on HSN over 20 years ago. Yes. You know what our price was? It was $329.
Was it really?
Yeah, and it didn't have any of this stuff. We've upgraded it over 100 times, 125 times. What am I saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we got to hear from Teresa.
Sounds good. So single moms, everybody, like Roger said, this is for everyone watching the show. If you suffer from pain, if your life isn't what you want it to be, you need to try this.
I have bulging discs in my back. My back pain became a part of normal everyday life. I have to get up and I have to go to work. I have to take care of my son.
Whenever I would ask her if we could go to the park or like play a little bit of baseball, she'd always say, "Oh, my back hurts. I can't do it." It made me feel sad for her.
I felt like the oldest lady in the world, which is so unfair to my son, so unfair to me. When I first saw the product on TV, I said, that makes so much sense. It just has to work. The first time I just sat there like, this is great. I knew this is what it was going to feel like. I was waiting for this. It releases the tension in my muscles. It helped me temporarily take that pain away by stretching myself the opposite ways that I don't normally stretch. It's just wonderful. It does so much more than just provide back relief.
I think it's helping her. She's been helping out with my baseball team.
Now it's almost 8, 9 o'clock sometimes. The time just flies by because me and my son are having so much fun. The Teeter was heaven sent for me. It promises you relief, and it definitely provides you with that relief.
You know, the bottom line is, Roger, you are changing lives, even if you're just improving our body shape, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a big deal.
I'm serious about that.
You can see this, you want to say, there are 2 things you can see in the mirror. Yeah. That really have nothing to do with the back pain issue necessarily. One is, you know, we're all hunched over computers and we're sitting too much. Well, part of that is almost impossible to have good posture. Well, when you invert, your head, instead of being out front, now is on top. Yeah. You're standing tall, looking good. Poor posture is unattractive. And there's one other thing that's part of an advanced society with a lot of stress, with a lot of sitting, and as we get older, we don't have the freedom of movement. So we start looking old by how we move. Right. You may keep your skin youthful and invest a lot in that, but if you move old, you give it away. You do. You know, get rid of the stress and you'll be taking those long strides. Here, this is the aging spine. This figure is not gaining weight, but he sure is changing body shape. Yes. Losing height, and when you lose height, you bulge out in the center. A lot of that middle-age spread isn't weight gain, it's internal organs winning the race to the floor. Look at the discs in the older gentleman. That's where his height loss is. Oh, you know, he doesn't have the flexibility, the shock absorption, and you write it off as old age. Well, it's the long-term effects of gravity. It is. And believe me, it's long-term. If you're 20s and in your 30s, you are already starting to lose height. Gravity is starting to, if you allow it. Gravity is allowing to change your body shape. So yeah, back pain, that pinched sciatica, that degenerative joint disease, that might still be 10 years out in the future. Why wait for the pain? Why wait? Let's get a jump start on it. Get that balanced body. You better believe it. And see the real payoff as you age by having the keeping your youthful flexibility.
Absolutely. So you know what? Even if we're not even talking about dealing with the pain, which that's the primary reason most of you call to get this, if we just appeal to your vanity. Seriously, if you just want to look taller, if you just want to look, you know, your height, if you just want to look younger, if you just want to feel younger, but more importantly, if you want to go to the source of the pain. Remember, there is no other table like this in the world. This is the medical, the 970. Beware of the copycats. You have to search the 970. This exact table sells for $100 more anywhere else in the world without, I gotta tell you, that flex pay, that's the lowest flex pay I've ever seen from you. Do you know that? When I got my first, and then of course we include the $50 comfort cushion that was designed specifically for this. We're gonna listen to Dr. Tons in a moment, but you're also the only table in the world, like in a chiropractor's office, it'll handle the right leg, you know, or the right hip taller. But
yeah,
then,
the hip realignment through the lumbar bridge. I wanna show you these stickers. You know, independent safety engineers have cleared and listed Teeter, whether it's UL, which is Underwriters Laboratory. They're an independent company that sets and tests safety standards, and we pass their tough safety standard for inversion tables. We are the only brand that does, and we're the only brand that can, because we use special steels that engineer out fatigue resistance. Competing tables fail at a small, there we are, that's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Have to cycle 30,000 times, according to these safety engineers. That's their number, not mine.
Right.
You know, but I think it's a good number, because lots of people like to do 20 or 30 times. Actually, every component that moves is tested 30,000 times.
I didn't realize that.
And, you know, when you cycle a table back and forth, the little support arms that carry your weight are loaded first one. Here, this is perfect.
Okay.
See that vertical line on the right?
Yeah.
That with the writing, or towards on the right side, there's a vertical line with writing. That is the target, or the minimum requirements set by Underwriters Laboratory. 30,000 cycles, that long blue line on top, that's us. We went way past it. I did sit-ups on those tables, on that table, after 40,000 cycles. Look at the lookalikes.
Yeah.
They don't use the right steel.
They don't.
They fatigue out, and fatigue means bent, broken, or torn metal because of working the metal first one direction, then the other direction, which is what happens on every cycle that you do. So, Roger, if I'm reading that correctly, every other table failed at some point. Dramatically.
So, at every other table that's out there failed at some point. Now, before we see Dr. Tons, we're getting a lot of questions about assembly, and I'm so glad you guys are asking. Because you did something only for our customers, right? This is something that you did just for...
Well, it started out that way. It's been a runaway thing.
All right, are you sharing it with everybody else now?
I'm afraid so. But we did it because you asked for it. We pay attention to you. That part fully assembled out of the box.
Comes like this.
Just like that. You don't have to put one single piece together. All right, the bed, you know, that comes apart. The bed's fully assembled. Yes, you have to put these little arms in. They also give you an adjustment, by the way, that gives you the control of responsiveness. That's kind of a one-time thing. It's all in the DVD. And by the way, that's one of the components that's high carbon steel. It's heat treated because that's the one that takes the cycling load.
Right.
All right, A-frame fully assembled in the sense it has a spreader arm, it has the strap on, it has all 4 feet on.
Yep.
So what do you got to assemble? Okay, these upgraded handles. You've got 3 machine screws, 1 bolt. That's your assembly.
So 3 little screws.
That's it.
Yep, and then it just snaps right in place.
This snaps together. See, we're snapped together.
Yeah, remember, this comes like this.
Yeah, obviously this hand will be folded up like that.
Right, exactly.
But, you know, so you'll spend more time getting it out of the box.
He's not kidding. He's really not kidding.
And there you are.
And there you're done.
Yeah,
that was it.
5-year warranty on every component. Yeah. And again, Teeter is the only brand that meets all the safety standards for North America. That's Canada and the United States. It meets the safety standards for Japan. It meets the safety standards for all of Europe. Yeah. In fact, in Europe, on the European community, it not only meets safety standards, it meets the standards for home use medical. You know.
Medical. So do you want to introduce Dr. Tons? Because I know you've got a very special
it's a long story.
It's a long story.
Dr. Tons put me back together from a head-on collision in Mexico. I got my first ride on the Learjet. But the most important thing is I got to know him really well over 2 weeks. He got 2 inversion tables. He used one for himself, said it's helped him so much. He's recommended to at least 30 people, and the other one was for his son, who's a spinal surgeon.
Wow.
But he did this testimony, and he's one of so many doctors that truly believes in inversion, like Dr. Steedman and here Dr. Tons. But let's let what he hears, and I want you to listen very carefully to what he says about height changes daily. Your height changing daily.
The discs that sit here are like shock absorbers we have on the car. So when you get up in the morning, you may be 6'1". When you go to bed at night, you're actually about 6'1½". You lose 1/4 to 1/2 inch of height as these shock absorbers get squeezed and the water comes out of them. Then when you're asleep, they rehydrate. One of the advantages, I think, of Roger's device is that you can do this during the day too and give yourself kind of a break from the constant pressure on your back and on these shock absorbers to allow them to rehydrate by taking all the pressure off and letting them have some freedom. People that get on a standard routine and do it again and again do far better than people that go for 3 weeks of therapy and then re-injure again in a year, go for 3 weeks therapy. A daily routine, which is what Roger's recommending, I think is a very good way of getting your back in great shape so that as we stay vertical for our lives, we don't start breaking down later on.
So wait a minute, he's talking about a regular regimen. I mean, so some people go to their chiropractor's offices and do it like once a week, Oh,
no. This should be, look, you want to keep your youth, you want to keep your face youthful. What do you take? You take care of it once a week? No, I don't think so. You take care of it several times a day. You take care of your hair. You go to the gym 3 times a week to keep your heart youthful. Your spine, in fact, all weight-bearing joints, we're talking ankles, knees, hips, all weight-bearing joints, they're no different than any other part of your body. A regular program of proper maintenance with the Teeter, 3 to 5 minutes a day, will help you keep that youthful function with the bonus of good posture,
yes,
improved flexibility, being able to keep, in my case, keep up with the grandkids, all of those things as bonuses.
Yeah.
And yes, it is only 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, when you're lying in bed, these joints are still pressurized because of to 25% of what your standing body weight would be because of the ligaments and muscles that encase it. But when you invert and you get to the angle of the rear legs, these joints actually decompress. Right. You elongate 1 to 2 inches, and that is so dramatic.
Right.
There is nothing else that does that for weight-bearing joints, and that's why 3 minutes at that decompressed level can have such a tremendous effect. One comment, real quick, because I want you to see these discs are the fluid-filled shock absorbers. And when we talk about sciatica, a disc that's lost its fluid and is thin, a degenerative disc disease, means a pinched nerve. Right. Because the disc controls the size of the opening that a nerve goes through. So you young people that don't have back pain yet, check your height. Keep an eye. You're going to actually start losing height because we all do. That's life on this planet.
Life on this planet.
Fight back, but as you lose height, remember it's the discs that are losing height, and they're closing in on those nerves, stealing your flexibility and stealing your appearance too, your whole, your figure, everything.
So if vanity just prevails, I want to keep those fat and happy, even if I want my butt smaller, right?
That's it. Okay, phone calls. Let's
do it. Should we go to the phone?
Yes, yes. They're the stars.
Absolutely. Sandra from New Jersey, welcome to HSN. It's Shannon and Roger. How are you, Sandra?
Hi, I am so well. Thank you so much. I will be better when I get this table, let me tell you.
Yes. So, Sandra, what made you decide to call tonight?
Well, because I do have back pain, lower back pain, and all of a sudden upper back pain. So I just saw this and I thought, you know what, I've seen it before. And thought, I'm okay. It's all right. I don't need it. But you know what? I do need it. Everyone can benefit from it. Let me tell you, to get your lower back pain under control, or even upper back pain, just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
It deals not only with the targeted pain issue you're looking for, but it benefits every other joint, weight-bearing joint in the body. They all get a bonus break.
Honestly, and you know what? I kind of feel like may not have to go to the chiropractor all the time. Let me just have this at home and just do it a few times a day or one time a day, whatever. I just feel like I really need to stretch my muscles and get the back pain under control.
You will, Sandra.
I think your body is talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's why inversion's been reinvented by every society going back to 400 BC, because people just, it makes such sense. I just know if I could just be stretched.
Sandra, welcome to the family, and thank you so much for your phone call. And I hope you heard what Sandra said, and don't let Sandra be the only one. She said that she'd watched a few times. We hear that a lot, where people say, I've seen Roger, I've seen this table, I've been watching, and I think for whatever reason, we wait, and Sandra, she's fed up with the pain. Aren't you? Aren't you fed up with the pain? What is that pain costing you? Is that pain costing you time on your job, time with your family, time enjoying activities that you might like? Because you're still water skiing, for crying out loud.
I went 40 times this last summer, and I'm back on the slalom course, which is what I really love to do. Yeah, this is recreational skiing. This is milk toast as far as energy going through the slalom course compared, or dealing with this guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the family record. He got up water skiing at 4.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what, being able to ski with your grandkids, snow skiing, water skiing, I've been able to do both with them, and just to be able to teach them the things that you love, that is precious.
At 80 years young.
That is so precious.
At 80 years young.
And I want to talk about posture just one more second, because it's not just looking good, and you do look much better in your clothes with good posture, but good posture is that body position which best resists gravity. I mean, you're going to lose because gravity's going to win, but if you have good posture, you're going to be able to maintain your joint health much longer.
Right.
But who can do it?
Yeah.
I mean, with
your
all the
height,
sitting, this height loss that we're looking, that is in the soft tissue of the joints. That's where your flexibility is, your shock absorption. Yes, he's lost his figure, but the big deal is the height loss is in the soft tissue of the joints. Look at those discs.
What a difference.
You know, and those discs control the size of the opening that the nerves come through. So a thin disc frequently means a pinched nerve, sciatica down your arm or down your leg.
For me, it's my leg. I do want you to see, though, that we've got some other accessories that you can ask for. Like, I have hardwood floors, so we've got a mat, and we'll talk about the app. But remember, anywhere else you shop for this table, you have to search the 970, guys and gals. Beware of the lookalikes. You saw, this is the only one in the world that did not fail, under this UL listing. This is the same table that is used in doctor's offices. It is the medical grade, that class medical grade approved device. It's $100 more for just the medical grade table anywhere else in the world. We are including for the first and only time, and by the way, Roger has only a couple of shows this go round. The $50 cushion is included, the free shipping, the 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You saw the assembly. He's done most of the assembly for you.
5-year warranty.
5-year warranty. But we do have some other accessories, and you're also, it's kind of like Teeter 2.0. You've got your own app now as well.
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yeah, it's a free upgrade. Cool. Teeter Link is the but you can see it'll give you reminders. It gives you it keeps records for you, so you can have some kind of record of how the pain level is changing, how it's reducing, and maybe some notes as to what caused the pain, because you don't remember what triggered it initially. And this gives you all those records in one thing that you can fall back on. And it's a reminder. It's the biggest thing. Look, this is so important. You do this on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
You know, immediately before bed, get rid of the stress of the day, decompress your body, you know, get that ½ inch of height loss back, in a sense, roll into bed. Your body has less work to shove you back in shape by morning. It allows it to do some other things.
No, it does, because we've all had that experience where you have to adjust your rear view mirror, whether you
drive home at night.
You drive home at night, and guess what? The mirror has to be adjusted. That's why I say, you're watching the show for a reason, and maybe you're like Sandra in New Jersey, you've seen it for whatever reason. Change your life tonight. Change your todays and your tomorrows and your forever afters. Not just because you're getting rid of the back pain. You know, I don't want to take, you know, things that I don't have to take, and just like a pain reliever, this is temporary, but the thing is, you do it consistently. if vanity prevails, you know, from your posture and from your height.
Posture?
Absolutely.
Believe me, when you get to be 80, it's the flexibility. It's having a life. It is doing the water skiing, in my case, the snow skiing, the cycling. You know, these are the things I like to do. And 40 years ago, I wrecked my back. And I mean, when I say wrecked, on worst days, I couldn't even get out of bed. I actually roll onto the floor, crawl hands and knees into the shower to get hot water on my back, just to be able to stand up. Yes. I tried everything to get relief. Nothing really worked until I found Inversion. Yeah. The relief I got was temporary, but it lasted longer. Right. And it was more effective than anything else I'd tried. And by doing it on a regular basis, I've been pain-free for the last 37 years. Wow. And I'm actually doing the same activities. Yeah, here, listen to this. I am now at 80 doing the same things that actually that contributed to my back problem in my 40s.
Unbelievable. So, almost 40 years later. Okay, so you're probably wondering who's in the background. How are you guys doing? Hey, Riley. Best job in television, right?
Oh, right. Just hanging out here relaxing.
You know, one thing that I don't have, and you know what's so interesting, when you guys came to HSN over 20 years ago, I still have my original Inversion table. Yes. And they last forever. I'll just tell you, that's the only thing you didn't factor into your business plan. So I really do have to upgrade because I want this. I want the comfort grip handles.
Yeah. It's got everything. It's got everything. I mean, we put in the $100 upgrade. This was just on medical tables.
I remember.
I mean, everything, this cushion's amazing. It's so soft. I mean, it gives you enough comfort, but you don't squish into it, so you get all the decompression. It's really the whole thing. And really I'm telling you, if you're one of those people at home that has headaches, this really helps. I go to full inversion to really help with the headaches and do some stretches, and you will find that it just moves that neck back into alignment.
It really does. It's funny. You can feel things move into alignment, and you can invert as much or as little as you like, so you're always in complete control. I don't have the mat yet, which I think is good. They're actually like a little cheat sheet.
Double-sized yoga mat or close to it, 2 layers of rubber fabric in between, hand washable. But it's got 25 different figures on it. So when you're upside down and saying, what did Roger say I was supposed to do? Yeah, exactly. There you are. First column, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then advanced exercises, which Matt does for us and occasionally with some crunches and inverted squats and that kind of thing. But so it has everything that you would want. And if you... and it's a nice size mat, and it protects your floors. The table's not going to scratch your wood floors.
No, but
the mat's going to keep it from moving around if you're, doing some more advanced exercises.
Absolutely, and that mat is almost always gone, but it is available. And then we've got a couple of other goodies too, right?
Yeah, we've got over here, we've got a storage caddy.
Okay.
And this fits on. You can put your phone in there because you might be using the app.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a nice little feature.
Nice.
And then we have the muscle rubs. And I think they're sitting on Roger's thing here.
I see them.
Yeah, there's a roll-on and then there's a cream. And so we did these because, a lot of that stuff out there is full of junk. It's got parabens and all sorts of horrible things. But you want something that you can rub on when you've got a sore spot. And we added special stuff. We took out all the junk and we added the special stuff of glucosamine and MSM. And we use a special dermal carrier so it goes under the skin and it goes to the joint. So if there's inflammation or anything like that, it feels good.
It feels good.
And the roll-on, you can do it at night without worrying about getting the stinky fingers and accidentally sticking it.
Oh, you know what? That's pleasant, though. I have to say. And I like the roll-on, like you said, where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's not on your hands.
Exactly. Kind of, kills the romance otherwise. It's like you got to take care of what you got to take care of. But I think it's important, Riley, that people understand when you guys put this configuration together. I mean, basically you and your family have absorbed so many of the costs. It's
a great deal.
It is a great deal.
We can't even do it with our infomercial. I mean, this is got everything on it. And I mean, if you went to our entry level, I think it's just like $10 less expensive, but you don't get the cushion, you don't get the easy reach handle, you don't get the traction handles. And that seems like a small upgrade, but it's huge because a lot of people don't want to go to full inversion, but they want the full benefits. They want the full decompression. And that's really what this product is about, is we built everything to help deliver the results because we want the results.
Yes, so it's really about a whole experience for the customer. And,
it is.
And thank you, Riley. I mean, she's always a font of information. Actually, we end up talking about more than just the inversion table, from fitness and nutrition. And I mean, you know, honestly, I hope the whole shebang. And it all starts here. And you have to ask yourself, why are you watching the show? Chances are you've seen Roger, if you've seen the table. Today is a life-changing day. And even if we just appeal to vanity, for crying out loud, if you see that FDA still, if you're watching this show, do you have back pain? Do you have sciatica? Do you have spinal degenerative joint disease, arthritis?
That's osteoarthritis.
Osteoarthritis.
That's right.
That's what my mom has. Do you have spinal curvature? Do you have muscle tension? Do you have a herniated disc? Do you have degenerative disc disease or spinal stenosis or facet syndrome or muscle spasms? What is your back pain keeping you from doing? And maybe you're like Sandra in New Jersey, and she said, I'd watched several shows, and she'd finally had it. And that's why I say, yes, it goes to the source of that back pain, but maybe even more importantly for me, you're talking about vanity. You're talking about posture. You're talking about feeling younger, moving younger. It's true.
You know, that is such a huge deal. I want you to think about it. Start paying attention to other people. And even if they look youthful because they're making a real effort to keep their physical appearance youthful, do they move youthful?
Do they move youthful?
Do they give away their age because they're not taking those long stress-free strides that you get when you don't have the tension and you have the joint mobility that comes from a regular program of decompression and helping those joints to get a break and revitalize.
It has to be regular. By the way, we've got one more testimonial that we want to take a look at in particular, and I say when this is the medical grade table, you also build special tables for the guys who, you know, it's March Madness. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, from people 6 foot to 7'7". We were asked to build that equipment. We built it. We had 16 people on the pro golf circuit. We got 100 professional baseball players. We have a lot of football players. I mean, everyone from rugby to Australian football, which is different, and then American football. And I want to introduce you to Cedric here, who actually his history is very similar to mine because of the sports injuries which drove mine back problems originally. But 11 years in pro football on the line. Let's hear his story.
Aging is nothing but compression, brought on by the greatest force in our universe, which is gravity. I played 13 years of professional football, and you in mortal combat with opposing people as big and as strong as you are. In the long run, you do a lot of damage to yourself. Not thinking about the consequences of one day being 67 years old and having to deal with the aftermath. The first time that I used the Teeter, the feeling was just of relief, total relief. It's just a whole new world open to me. It has restored the flexibility, and I'm able to walk further. Being able to stand up straight without my back bothering me is a victory. I've always been a dreamer, and everything had been on hold. Getting on the Teeter, instantly, hope came back. I can live again.
Okay, time always goes by so quickly. There are only 10 minutes left in the show. I mean, remember, this is the 970. Beware the lookalikes. This is the medical grade device. It's $100 more anywhere else you shop. And Roger, even the comfort cushion, which is free, that's $50.
This is high tech.
It is.
You may have wondered, why didn't we make a padded bed before? Because, you know, it's a harder surface.
Sure.
There is the reason you invert is to decompress the body, to elongate. The bed has to be designed in such a way that your body slides on it.
Right.
So as you elongate, if you have a, say, memory foam, you'd sink into it and you wouldn't slide.
So that defeats the purpose.
This has been engineered.
Yep.
It's a super fine, slippery nylon surface, plus the foam. It's attached to the bed. This is really took a lot of engineering. We don't make gimmicks.
No.
You know, we want to get, you wanted comfort, we're giving you comfort.
Yes.
But we're doing it in a way that actually enhances the performance that you're buying it for, which is the decompression, the improvement in joint flexibility and joint health.
Absolutely. So I'd love for you to get a tour of the table. And okay, by the way, remember, you are getting the pressure nodules. You're getting the lumbar bridge free. It's patented. It's the only one in the world, like your chiropractor's office, that helps with alignment if you've got one leg longer, or I've got one hip that's higher than the other, et cetera. That's the only table that does that. And Roger, that's easy. You just kind of position it right there. That's where where that little lumbar area is, right?
Right. Now, this actually controls the curvature in your spine and partial inversion, and it does square your hips.
It does.
Kind of grabs your butt when you invert and squares your hips.
It does.
And I've got one leg longer, and it's really a nice plus. Now, these acupressure nodes, there's 8 of them, 2 of each of 4 sizes, and they will go anywhere on the table.
Yep.
Right now, we've got the comfort mat on. These are twist locks. Yep. They go into the slots, but the acupressure nodes could go on any one of these if you've got that knot in your back.
Yeah.
And see, I put this on, lock it in place. There's the bed, the comfort cushions back on. Traction handles, a $27 upgrade.
Yep.
That's actually my favorite one because I can tether the table at this angle.
Yeah.
And then use arm power pushing on the traction handles and further elongate my body as though I was in full inversion.
So you don't have to fully invert. And remember, and Roger, you said 3 to 5 minutes. So probably in less time than it takes to brew your cup of coffee. No, I'm serious about that, right?
Well, yeah, that's about right.
That's about right.
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes.
You know, and this is a $100 upgrade. This is what classifies it as a medical device, and that's the reason we developed it, because a lot of patients of doctors have back pain, and
micro adjustments,
so it's precision adjustment, traction handles.
So
these are an
$100
upgraded handle over our $70 upgrade over our infomercial.
Yep.
The lumbar bridge, the acupressure nodes, and the color-coded strap that allows you to preset any angle that you wish to choose. Anything from like a 10 degree all the way up to about a 60 degree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So by the way, if you want to save $10, you could actually apply and buy with our HSN card. It's already the lowest price and the best value and the biggest package in America, but what have you. And I think of this as high tech. We're also doing a big sale on high tech items right now as well. So hsn.com, there are always details. Thank you again for your phone calls. Remember, Roger and Riley have only a couple of shows. By the way, Chris, didn't mean to leave you out. He's blonder. You know, it's like getting blonder and blonder. I don't know. It's like, who knew? I'm getting darker. It's like the dark side. But we really want you to try this. And I always believe that things happen for a reason. And maybe you're like Sandra in New Jersey. Aren't you tired of living with the pain? Aren't you tired? What is that pain costing you? Is it costing you time on your job? Is it costing you time with your grandkids? Is it just costing you your joy in life? And I go back to one of my original contentions. Listen, none of us are getting any younger, certainly better than the alternative. But if you want to move through life with what I call the fountain of youth, Roger's absolutely right. You see people, I see people at the gym who are 10 and 20 years younger than me, but they're moving a lot slower. And that to me is the key, is the fountain of youth. But the reality is, if we just appeal to your height, to your posture, to your flexibility, to your level of pain.
Yeah, that's it. And get those long strides, you know, so that you're looking, bring on those grandkids.
Absolutely. Hey, do we have time to do Kevin's testimonial? We only have 5 minutes left in the show, but should we do it, Roger?
Yeah, Kevin, look, when somebody in a family has back pain, it shuts the whole family down. This is not a one-person problem. It affects everybody in the family and maybe even outside the family. Listen to Kevin's testimony.
For sure.
The back problems really started when I did a long road trip. When you're in constant pain, it definitely has a significant impact on your ability to deal with little kids that are running around. You can't deal with stress as easily.
I just wanted him to be better and be back to himself and back to being a vibrant part of our family. His pain had an effect on his relationship with the kids, and that was hard to watch.
A friend of mine introduced me to Teeter. As soon as I got on it, it was relief. It felt amazing.
The net benefit of him using the Teeter to our family is just unbelievable.
I'm like a spokesperson for the Teeter. I tell everybody I know.
So you're right. The whole family
is affected.
And you know what?
Your job's affected.
It is. Just as an aside, we all respect Andrew Lessman here. He inverts every single day, right?
He inverts every day, and he's been doing it for 20 years. He's actually on one of our shows, and he spoke about inversion on one of his shows.
Yes.
You know, and Colleen.
And Colleen
is,
her top
uses it at least every day, if not twice a day.
Absolutely.
And every time she comes up, I feel like I just had a facial.
Exactly.
You know?
It's who cares what your skincare looks like? But just one quick thing, Roger. Easy assembly. Yes.
I'm not going to...
We won't do the whole shebang, but...
This fully assembled out of the box. See all those pieces? That's the ones that are worrying you? No, this is exactly the way it comes out of the box. Just like that.
Yep.
All right, A-frame is fully assembled. The bed's fully assembled.
That just opens up.
You still have to put these hinges in. That's a quick lock.
Yep.
A-frame has the spreader arms on, the
Just
security
open it up.
strap, the 4 corner feet are all on. What do you got to do? You got to put these upgraded handles on. 3 machine screws, 1 bolt. 3
screws.
You'll spend more time getting out of the box.
Yeah.
Look, that's the way it assembles. Snap, snap.
Exactly, and then you just slide this in. It's genius, and I do, and please remember, this is the medical, the cleared medical device. It's the same one that is used in chiropractic and doctor's offices. It's the same one that sells for $100 more. And Roger, FDA came to the party.
FDA cleared 36 years. They didn't come to the party. They came last year and said, okay, you're a class 1 medical device. And not only that, but we present or give you, they gave us a letter that said, we see the Teeter is indicated for these activities, for these problems. And there they are. You know, back pain, sciatica, that's a pinched nerve. Spinal degenerative joint disease, that's the same as osteoarthritis. Spinal curvature due to tight muscles. Muscle tension, herniated disc, huge problem. Huge degenerative disc disease. I mean, look at that list. I mean, Teeter deals with all of those in 4 different ways. You know, decompressing the joint, taking the pressure off the pinched nerve, encouraging realignment, rehydrating the joints, and stretching and relaxing paraspinal muscles. And that's just the beginning, because then we have posture, improvement in flexibility, but you know stretching and relaxing, you know, helping keep original body shape. You know, you want that youthful look.
It's true.
It'll help you do it.
When you saw that aging spine, I remind you, both of those figures weigh the same. They weighed the same. They didn't gain weight.
They no way sure change body shape.
They just change body shape. So even if we just appeal to your vanity, that's worth $58 and change. You got to remember, I've spent more than $58 on a night cream. I have. You know that's true, and that's just topical. This is going to the source. So there are almost 1,000 more that have been spoken for in this hour. Please remember, it is the only time we're taking $100 off your purchase, but then we include the $50 comfort cushion for free. That's not done anywhere else. The free shipping, and I have to say, because I bought my table, well, decades ago, I really do need to upgrade, and I can tell you for a fact, my flex pay was more than $58, and it didn't have nearly what this has. So you're watching this show for a reason. You need to do it. Roger, Riley, Chris, great job. So you guys are back at 7 o'clock? Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
That's right.
So I know you've got very limited quantities. See, I always want to be able to invert, you know, after, you know, I get done with my show, but now I've got more work to do. Curtis Stone's going to feed me, though.
Look, if it doesn't change your life, send it back.
Yes.
If you don't feel like jumping like that when you get off, even if you don't, but you will.
But you will. Sandra, thanks for the testimonial. Roger, Riley, thank you as always. Good to see you. Thank you for your phone calls. Look for the team back at 7 o'clock. I'm back with Curtis. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, Roger. All right, I'll see you next door. All right, Curtis is going to feed me. Stay tuned.
Worry about one less thing with our Protection Plus plans at HSN. Computers, printers, cameras, fitness equipment, and even jewelry can be covered with a plan that offers repair or replacement should a failure occur. And portable electronics have accidental damage from handling, which covers unintentional mishaps like everyday drops, spills, and cracked screens. It's easy to add when you are checking out. Search Protection Plus at hsn.com for more details.
Get inspired to cook simple, elegant meals at home with a brand new collection of kitchen tools, designed, tested, and proven from the experts at Food & Wine. Don't miss Food & Wine, only on HSN.
April is Customer Appreciation Month. And
And to show how much we appreciate you, HSN Cares will donate $1,000 every day in April to charities you love. Nominate your favorite charity now through March 11th and help make a difference in your community. Search HSN Cares at hsn.com now to learn more.
There's so many things to love about HSN, but one thing that makes shopping here fun is FlexPay. Get it home now without the stress of paying all at once. Why pay full purchase price today when you can pay over time? Buy what you want now, pay it off later with your credit or debit card. FlexPay. It's that easy. Exclusively at HSN.
I've spent a lifetime in the kitchen all over the world, whether it's a 5-star restaurant or whether it's someone's home. You know, when I started cooking in people's homes, I started thinking to myself, there's got to be an easier way. Professional kitchens are so easy to work in because